Alright, Shalom. First and foremost, before I get started, I'd like to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem, Rachak Kodash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone who taught me this truth and rule well. Peace and blessings unto the hopeful elect, pushing His word throughout the four corners of the earth in truth, righteousness, and sincerity. To you I say Shalom. This is the brother Yeshaya coming at you again through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bahashem Yahushai. And another in transit. Since I'm on these 12 hours, I've been commuting back and forth from work, and just figured since I have the time to do another video, man. These in transits have been kind of been helping me out, as far as keeping my mind's eye focused, man, because that's one important thing, is to keep your mind focused on the Lord, man, at all times, right? Not just when you're doing your lesson, not just when you're at camp on the weekend, right? Or whenever you're going through some trouble, or whenever you're going through a little bit of adversity or whatever, you know what I'm saying? Like, you gotta always have your mind on the Lord, right? Yahushua said it, let me get it real quick. Bear with me. This is John 15 and verse 4. It says, "Abide in me, and I in you, as the branch cannot bear fruit of itself, except it abide in the vine." Right? So you got to be connected to the source, man. How do you stay connected to the source? To continue to meditate upon the precepts. Meditate upon the words of Yahweh Bahashem Yahushai. Constantly pray. Right? The Apostle Paul says, pray without ceasing, man. Our apostle Rakah, he always goes into that prayer, man. Jake needs to be praying more. And I'm talking to myself first and foremost. Everything that I say, everything that comes out my mouth, is towards me twofold. You see? Because it comes out of me, it also applies to me. Right? But anyway, let me read this again. John 15 and verse 4, it says, "Abide in me and I in you, as the branch cannot bear fruit of itself, except it abide in the vine. No more can ye, except ye abide in me." Right? So the only way we're going to continue to have the Holy Spirit and push out these videos, and pretty much stay locked in, man, is to continue to meditate upon the Lord. Think upon Yahweh Bahashem Yahushai, man. Stay connected, right? Stay on the vine. You don't want to be that wild olive tree, right? Let me get this. And really, this video was actually supposed to be about something else, but it ended up being this. So, whatever the Spirit, permits, I'm just gonna flow with it. Bear with me. Let me see. Trying to find this precept. Slovakia. Trying to drive at the same time while finding this precept. Bear with me. much going into the branches. Okay, yeah, I found it. I know there's one in Romans 11, which talking about the wild olive tree, but that's not really the one that I wanted. It's this one right here, John 15 and verse 4. As a matter of fact, wasn't I reading that? I was reading that. Salakia. But it says, let me just continue on. John 15 and verse 4, abide in me and I in you, as the branch cannot bear fruit of itself, except it abide in the vine. No more can ye, except ye abide in me. Verse 5, I am the vine, ye are the branches. He that abideth in me, and I in him, the same bringeth forth much fruit. Right? So, if you stay connected, you're going to receive the nutrients necessary to continue to produce that fruit. Right? When you look at plants that grow, it gets its nutrients from the soil, from the roots, from the root system. Yahawashi is that root system. Okay? So the only way those branches are going to be able to produce fruit is if it's still connected to the stem, to the root system. That's how you're able to receive the nutrients. Yahawashi is that conduit in receiving the Holy Spirit. You see, from the Lord, from the Most High. Okay? But it says, continuing on, this is the point I wanted to get. It says, for without me ye can do nothing. If a man abide not in me, he is cast forth as a branch and is withered. Right? Pretty much, if you don't abide, if you don't stay connected, if you don't, pretty much if you lose focus, man. That's ultimately what it is. Right, as I started in the beginning of the lesson, it's important to keep your mind's eye focused, man. Keep your eye single, because once you deviate your attention to something else, really it'll be the world, right? You don't want to let the world drag you back, deviate you from your path, deviate you from the goal, from the mission at hand. Right? Because really, this world is like a current. It's a current. Like a current in a river, and it's going downstream. And you in this water, man. You in it. And you gotta continue to fight against it. But you gotta keep your mind focused in trying to make it, past this current. Because once you start, giving in and start getting weak, you start getting tired, you start feeling like, oh, I can't do this no more. Or, you just get distracted. You're going to start getting carried away by the water. Eventually, you're going to feel like, oh, well, this ain't that bad, you know what I'm saying? I get some rest. But not knowing, at the end of that current is a giant-ass waterfall with sharp fucking rocks at the bottom. You see? And you don't want to get mangled up in that. Right? Which is why we do this work. which is why, again, you got to maintain your eyes single, and you got to abide in Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahushua, man. Because those that ain't, best believe they're going to get mangled up between them rocks, man. It ain't going to be a pretty sight either. You know, we're about to start coming into these hard times, these perilous times, and in these perilous times where focus is necessary, prudence is necessary, discipline is necessary. You know, all these character traits that make a champion is necessary. Because that's the only way we're going to receive the victory, man. But let me continue. Let me finish this out. John 15 and verse 6. It says, "If a man abide not in me, he is cast forth as a branch, and is withered, and men gather them, and cast them into the fire, and they are burned," man. See? Because ultimately, the ultimate destruction, or the way America is going to go out, is by fire. Thermonuclear fire, man. To a lot of our people that decided to side with the world, they're going to get caught up in that fire. Right? That's what the scriptures call the second death. See? But again, you know, this is just, you know, something that was in my spirit. Like I said, I wasn't really planning this lesson. I was actually, you know, planning on doing something else. I was planning on going into 2 Maccabees, the 6th chapter. But something I brought up at camp. But, you know, the spirit is like the wind, you know. But anyway, this is going to be it for that. I pray the lesson was edifying. I'm going to go ahead and close it out by giving all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahushai Ba'ashim Rachak Kodash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone who taught me this truth and rule well. Peace and blessings to the hopeful elect pushing his word throughout the four corners of the earth. In truth, righteousness, and sincerity. Until the next time, I'm going to say Shalom. Kwam Yasha Allah.